never say it's awkward. Done.
Okay, so I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let me just check everything's all the levels okay. If you want to sort of say something, so we can check the levels.
Hello.
Hello. That was your contribution. All right, yeah, your levels are okay. All right, this is Richie Puginshoot, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague Jordan Pavey, who is otherwise known as whoever Pav.
Took you a while, but yes.
Yes, well, I'm assuming you got something a bit better than that, but um, yeah, this is our first really shitty podcast. it's gonna, it's not gonna be good, is it?
Oh, no.
No,
Slightly.
no.
The
But
term train wreck comes to mind.
yeah, it's gonna be a train wreck on First National grounds. But we have actually been posed a question by a young lady called Heather Yokens. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce her second name. Um, but what she asks is, what's the scariest game you've ever played, and what makes it scary for you?
How did you go first? Because it'll take me a while to think of one.
Yeah, that's a really tough one for me as well. Um, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm really susceptible to jump scares, so
See, to
you
me,
know,
they're not scary at all.
really,
That's not scary. That's just a reaction to a loud noise or something. If I
really,
sneak up
yeah.
on you and shit boo in your ear, you're not scared of me. You're just reacting to me making a noise.
Wow. Well, that makes me susceptible to it, to be honest with you.
To me, scary has to be something that leaves a lasting effect. The sort of thing that leaves you not want to sit next to a window at night.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I would suppose that something like, say, Silent Hill, maybe would be pretty scary to me because it's not so much the jump scares, it's more
The
the whole
suspense.
ambience of it, isn't it? It's the you never know when that air raid siren's going to come on, and you never know when you're going to actually have to defend yourself.
No, exactly. That's more like it rather than this whole slender nonsense where you just shout boo in your face every few minutes.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, jump scares kind of play a part in it, so in some ways, but like I said, I mean, I would say that Silent Hill would be pretty high up, and maybe Resident Evil because whenever in Resident Evil you went out a door, you never knew what was coming after it. You know, you might have to run, you might have to fight, whatever. But like, I agree with you. It's not all about jump scares. It's not all about collecting all these things like the Slender games were. Although they were pretty good, I think.
I never liked the look of them. It just seemed too pointless to me. You collect 8 pages and then you get a game over screen. The end.
Yeah, wow, well, like a flashlight until you died.
Oh, that's the original anyway. I didn't know
Yeah.
they released an updated version.
Well, what do you think about SCP then?
That I actually liked because that had various things that could sneak up on you and shit boo in your face.
But it didn't at first, though, did it? It only had the weeping angel kind of the monster.
But that is
The
actually quite a scary character in a way.
well,
As the angels were themselves, this concept of that is actually quite intimidating.
well, it is, yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. I think when they sort of added those extra ones, the zombie virus and the what was his name? That bloke that just sort of appeared out of anywhere. I can't remember what his name was.
The old man,
Yeah, what was his name? He had a proper name.
Radical Larry, he was called
Radical
sometimes.
Larry, that was it.
He was 106, was it?
Yes, Screw Radical Larry.
He was a dick.
Yeah, what a dick. Being all supernatural and shit.
I quite like the monitor.
The
I
monitor.
can't. I'm trying to remember the name of the casket is the one I think where the monitor kills you if you look at it.
Oh
Let me
yeah.
try and remember it.
The most horrific thing I've ever had in the SCP games is actually the you know those musical notes that if you look at
Yeah.
them too much, you actually want to finish them, and you actually hear like the voice acting of someone ripping open their throat, and it's just like, no, why did I do that?
That was quite like that one actually. That SCP is quite a fun one.
Well, in a sort of follow up question for that, what was the when you first started playing games? What was the scariest game you ever played? I know
Going
it's a
way
tough one.
back to my childhood, probably Resident Evil was the first one that actually scared me.
Well, that first scene when he turned his back.
That's going way back.
Yeah.
Modern days, nothing I've played has really left me feeling scared.
I, I,
Scratches was a decent one.
yeah, I think
It had its moments, put it that way.
I think the first actually properly scary game that I played was probably, I agree with you, Resident Evil, but um,
I
as I
don't think
grew
that's
up,
true for a lot of people.
yeah, as I grew up, you sort of moved towards Dino Crisis. That was kind of a kind of game, wasn't it?
Looking back at that now, it's kind of silly in a fun way.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was silly and a fun, like most scary games are. But yeah,
Suddenly, dinosaurs, yeah.
I agree with you. I mean,
And then they took it into space or whatever it was, Dino Crisis 3 or 4.
yeah, well, I kind of
T-Rex
stopped.
in space.
I can T-Rexes in space. I kind of stopped at Dino Crisis too, so I didn't actually experience that kind of stuff. But
I don't think I finished the first one, to be honest.
you mentioned scratches, and I've played that. You've played that, and that was one of the perfect examples of why you need atmosphere to actually make a scary game. You cannot rely on jump scares alone because you were stuck in that house, and the more you explored, the more you didn't want to, but the more you sort of want to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I always
It's
remember the one bit of that game that really sort of won me over was actually at the end when you've seemingly lifted the curse and everything's nice and shiny again.
yeah,
You walk down the stairs and you actually still hear the scratching,
yeah,
and then suddenly the music just stops and
and
just stood there and just look at the fireplace with the scratching so you said come out. That was a really good moment in that game.
you're just
Didn't
like
happen at the very end.
you're just like I do not want to go down there.
It's like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
And then when we have to crawl into the boiler,
No, no, I'm not going to relieve those memories.
that was a fun moment.
I don't
That
know.
was that was very good because it wasn't very technically powerful. It didn't have a lot of flashy effects or like you said, no real jump scares. It was just atmosphere.
Well, no, it was more of a Myst style game, wasn't it? And there's a lot of backstory to it, and you could explore a lot. And you know, when you were least expecting it, something happened, and that was the key. It was more atmosphere than jump scares.
Kind of like Amnesia in a way.
Yeah, sort of. But there wasn't a monster really, was there? It was sort of
No, there was no legitimate threat. It was just the mystery.
yeah, it was exactly. You never knew if there really was one.
And to me, the monster was the great downfall of Amnesia because it became predictable after like the first 5 times.
Yeah, well, yeah. The more you saw the monster, the more it became predictable, and the more stupid you saw the AI was.
So
So
you kind of walk into a room, you'd see a closet and a puzzle. You think, right, complete the puzzle, jump into the closet.
well, well,
Just like last time, and just like the time next.
you could throw a chair at it, and it'd be distracted enough for you to run away from it, and it kind of took away from it. And don't get me wrong, I think Amnesia had the really, really good writing behind it.
Oh yeah, it was good.
There was so much backstory to it, and they kind of dropped the ball, I think, with the stupidness of the monster.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there.
But then,
At first, the first time you meet it is actually quite worrying.
yeah.
But so once you realise it has a pattern and you can predict when it's going to come, it just then becomes an
Well,
annoyance.
well, of course, yeah. And
So you're going to slow me down for the next 2 minutes until you despawn, and I can move on again and get out of this closet. So
but then,
just walk around this room for a few minutes and then leave, please.
but then again, you know, Amnesia is spawned so many custom stories that have, spawned so many custom character models that are much scarier than the original monster, and there have been so many good stories about it that it actually, it's sort of paved the way for scary games forward. I think it's
The
more,
custom creations have been its strongest point, I'd say.
yeah, it's more of the atmosphere and the exploration and the backstory rather than the action of running away from the monster.
Yeah. I actually quite like their first game, Penumbra,
Oh, Penumbra, yeah.
because that was the first one of their games I actually played before Amnesia, and that was actually quite good. It had a sort of kind of reminded me of John Carpenter's The Thing, with being set in sort of like the Antarctic environment, the weird alien monsters running around.
Which one was that? Was that Penumbra Black Plague or was that Penumbra Prologue?
Overture,
Overture.
the first
Uh,
one.
yeah,
We had a really derpy combat system with the hammer.
yeah, with with those stupid bloody wolves.
The wolves that didn't have feet and yet chased you.
Screw that.
Little peg-legged wolves. They're not
Yeah.
so threatening about feet. I just kind of felt sorry for them. I mean, dogs have a hard enough time standing on slippery surfaces as it is. I mean, they haven't got feet, they're just going to go sliding over.
Kind of stumbling towards you, and well, I'm just gonna have to hit you with this hammer now.
I just beat you in the face 5 times until you die.
You've made such an effort, but I'm just gonna have to kill you. Well,
It was a good game, though.
yeah, it was a very good game. There was a lot of tension in it because you were sort of underground, weren't you? You were very, very secluded from everybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think after 12 minutes 45 seconds, we've probably answered the first question of this podcast.
We could expand on that, I expect. One thing I've noticed that I tend to be more scared by things that aren't in necessarily horror games.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever play Thief Deadly Shadows? The third
Oh,
one?
God, you're bringing back the memories now of the Thief.
Yeah, that's the name. Well, you have to go to the orphanage.
Oh, Christ.
Because that was actually quite. I don't want to say it's necessarily. It was nervous. It made me nervous back in the day.
Yeah. Well, even more recently, you remember that Star Trek Online level where you have to go down that dilapidated freighter, and there's that crazy guy on there that's like Bodykin, Bodykin.
That was quite. That was probably my favorite mission I played in that game.
I
It's very, very fun.
I did not like that mission at all.
I loved it.
It was one of those times where I just got to know my crew and I was not prepared to lose them. So
And even things like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines has quite where you have to go into the sewers infested by the weird little
yeah, and that
monsters.
and that hotel. Remember that hotel level?
Yeah, the one based off The Shining.
Yeah,
That was quite cool. I enjoyed that.
yeah, but you kind of it was weird because you knew you were immortal because you were a vampire, but you were still kind of scared by ghosts.
And it was
really
different. It was such a change of pace to the rest of the story because
yeah.
obviously you've been really cool Los Angeles setting. It's all been quite sleek and dark, and suddenly scary music, ghostly happenings.
Absolutely.
Sort of came out of nowhere and just like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Why am I being attacked by candles?
But if you were anything like me, that you kind of spent the whole first like couple of hours just stealing shit and being a general arsehole.
Stealing shit is the main thing in a role-playing game. You have to steal shit.
And then all of a sudden, you go to that beach house and you kill everybody there, and you think like, oh, yeah, I'm a vampire, I'm brilliant. And then they send you to that hotel, and you're like, oh, I'm not a vampire, I'm rubbish.
You fall in the stairs and it's like hear footsteps above you. So.
Yeah, you find a severed head in the washing machine or something.
Well, that was actually a really cool part. I love that because you hear the tumble dryer where wash machine going.
Yeah.
And you read the newspaper that says the child's head been found in there, and suddenly it opens up. It's like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And then you turn that corner and you see that figure walking with an axe towards you, and then you turn the corner and he's not there. No.
Just making it. Oh dear.
Yeah. I've wasted so much ammo. Anyway, right, that's quarter of an hour spent answering Heather's question.
Better than I thought we did.
Yes. So hopefully,
In
Heather.
5 minutes, we'll be done.
Hopefully, Heather, we've answered your question. We don't really like jump scares. We more prefer atmosphere and stuff. Yeah. Subtlety. That's it. What he said. Okay. So what are we going to talk about next? Well, this is our first podcast, isn't it? It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Well, we've been talking about this for fucking months, haven't we?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
but not longer.
Yeah, not longer. Like years. And now we've got nothing to say.
Just dead air for the next however long we can be bothered to sit here and talk to each other. There'll be a podcast just silence.
Yeah.
Occasional cough, sneeze, or fart.
No, we'll just do it like this.
The heavy breathing podcast.
The heavy breathing podcast. Well, it's surely something we can. What are you excited for, gaming wise?
Divinity Original Sin.
Really?
That is pretty much top of my list at the moment.
Talk about it.
It's an old-fashioned RPG, like Baldur's Gate and the original Divine Divinity.
Oh, bloody hell, I'm interested already.
I'll throw you a link, because should be very good. And since Divine Divinity is one of my top favourite games of all time, I am actually quite excited to see them going back, the guys who made it going back to their roots, as it were.
Well, Baldur's Gate was actually one of the first ever games that I played properly on a PC.
I actually didn't find out about it until very much later on into my life, until adulthood almost. And then I found it and thought, oh, this looks interesting, I'll play it. Christ, this is old, and I got killed by the first wolf. I'm already annoyed by it. It's awesome.
Do you remember a game called Nox?
I can't say I do.
It used to be on like demo discs for every single computer ever made. It was like Baldur's Gate, but it was rubbish.
It's not that great then.
But it was free, so you played it a lot.
It almost sounds familiar. It's like trying to ring a bell without finding where the bell is.
It will come back to you. I'm sure if you Google it, you will find Nox. But it was sort of I can't really explain it. It was like a poor man's Baldur's Gate, and you only played it because it was free, and that was it.
It does look extremely similar to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Just looking at the pictures.
It was Baldur's Gate, but they basically set a human in it.
So I don't know. It doesn't look familiar. I can't say I've ever played it.
But it's like
it doesn't look too bad graphically, to be honest.
Do you remember the first demo disc for PlayStation 1?
We had loads of those.
Oh my god. That T-Rex demo. Do you remember that?
No. Can't say I do.
You honestly don't remember the T-Rex demo from Demo 1? Go to your room.
I'm in my room.
It was that really rubbish PlayStation 1 demo where you got like Abe's Odyssey, you got Wipeout, what else you get? Some other shitty thing, and then you got some.
Actually, this does look familiar now. I'm watching it. It
does
seem very familiar.
Yeah, exactly. The
And
PlayStation One's
incredibly
main
silly.
the PlayStation One's main selling point was the fact that it was a CD player as well. That's why Music 2000 was created, and I am ashamed to say that I actually owned that. I actually owned MTV Music Generator 2 on PlayStation 2 as well, and
I never did.
I made some shit music on that. I tell
Yeah, I could see that happening, to be
you.
honest.
Yeah, it did happen.
And let's never speak of it again.
Let's pretend it happened and then didn't happen.
That works for me.
Apart from the fact that we're recording this and everybody knows that it did happen.
Not everybody, but 1.5 people who are watching or listening to this. There's one person, the midget somewhere.
God damn it, Hitler!
What are you excited about in gaming terms then?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm quite excited about that new Star Trek Timelines game. Um, I know you're gonna groan because it's gonna be a Facebook browser game thing, but
God.
I've played the Game of Thrones game that the same company have actually made, and it is really good. I don't watch Game of Thrones religiously at all, but it is
I watched the
really well
first
written.
series and gave up on it.
Yeah, it's really well written, and there's a lot of depth to it. It's not all about action like Star Trek Online was. Um, so I'm quite looking forward to that, and to be honest, I'm quite looking forward to the new
I didn't realize they're still
WWE
making
game.
those.
Yeah, of
I
course
played
they
them
are.
since the old PlayStation days.
Yeah, of course they're going to make them. They're making money off them. But other than that, there's not really much to make me think, I need to buy this. But the
It's
new
been a stale time.
yeah, the new Wolfenstein, I might buy because obviously, like I said to you, it's got Nazi AT-ATs,
That is
and
reason enough, to be honest.
well, if you've ever seen any videos of it
I've
they've
seen
actually
bits of it.
they've actually spent some time in actually thinking about the universe that they're going to be in. So I might buy that, but other than that, there isn't really much, to be honest with you.
How much is Wolfenstein these days?
Yeah, it is a bit of a dry spot this time of year, isn't it?
At the moment, it is, yeah. Not really much being released I can think of the top of my head. Unless you're interested in the new World of Warcraft update, which
But
I'm not.
whatever's being released is all pretty much the same thing, and a lot of new stuff isn't going to be released until at least August when they're trying to get to the Christmas market,
Yeah.
which is kind of depressing because you've paid all this money for the console or whatever, or the PC, or and you're just waiting basically.
This is why I haven't got a PS4 or Xbox One yet, because there's just nothing I want to play.
No, I'm exactly the same. I've seen videos of that Rise, Son of Rome thing, and that was my main reason for wanting to buy an Xbox One. And I've watched videos of it, and
It looks fun.
it's just like an interactive movie.
Did you ever play Spartan Total Warrior for the? I think it was
No,
the original Xbox and PS2. I expect
no, I didn't.
it looks like that, but crap. Because that game was actually quite fun, and Rise just looks like press button to kill enemy, press two buttons to kill two enemies.
Yeah, I don't. Like, this is going to be a bit controversial, but
Oh dear.
I do not mind quick time events. I mean, quick time events in certain games can work really well. I mean, look at Walking Dead, look at Back to the Future, look at Jurassic Park. They worked really well.
They have to be done well, or they're done terribly.
Yeah,
Basically,
they have to make sense, is what I'm saying. but you
So
cannot.
in the adventure games of Telltale, it does
Yeah,
work quite well.
you cannot make a game about a Roman warrior and just make every single thing a quick time event. It looks cool, but are you going to pick
It's
that
not
game
fun
up
to play.
again? Yeah, are you going to pick up at the game again and play it twice? No, you're going to sell it.
I mean, even if they went for the God of War style of just senseless hack and slashing, would have been more interesting than
Well, yeah,
series of quick time events.
but if they did it properly, you know, if they actually got a proper professional like into, say, oh, this is how they would have done it, blah 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 blah. If basically what I wanted with Rise Son of War was Total War in third person.
That's essentially what Spartan Total Warrior was.
That's exactly what I wanted on a next gen console, and that's exactly why I didn't buy it.
Yeah. Of course, the other big one was Titanfall for the Xbox One.
Yeah, well,
I would have been interested in that if it wasn't multiplayer only.
It really was multiplayer only. Seriously.
Oh yeah, no single player whatsoever.
Oh
And
my
that was
god.
I wasn't going to buy something just for multiplayer. It's
This,
not why I play.
this is why Call of Duty is shit. Right?
Call of Duty 6 they release it every month.
If they release the Call of Duty single player in World War One, I'd buy it straight away. Because I know that the Call of Duty team would probably treat the single player campaign pretty well. But all they're focused on is multiplayer, and that is why I never buy a Call of Duty game, a Medal of Honor game, a Battlefield game, ever.
The problem is their target demographic is like 12 to 20, which aren't interested in World War 1 or World War 2.
Yeah.
They want to kill Arabs.
Kill Arabs.
That's basically all they're interested in, is killing those dirty brown people.
Well, the latest Battlefield, what is that? You're supposed to be a SWAT member, aren't you?
No idea, to be honest.
Well, as far as I know, it's criminals versus cops. So they've gone from Taliban versus the US to criminals versus cops. Fuck's sake!
Who do we hate more, criminals or Taliban?
Unlock the skin of DLC. You could have a Taliban criminal.
Don't give them ideas. They've probably already got plans for that.
Of course they have.
It's called the Saddam Hussein pack.
I have actually seen a pretty interesting game. Have you heard of the what's it called now? Shit, I had it on Steam just now. Heroes of War World War One. It's like it's. Do you remember Hector?
The sort of point and click?
Yeah.
I've seen it, never played it.
Yeah. If you imagine Hector, but it's a sort of a really, really serious game, but it's set in World War One. I've just seen someone playing through the first level of it, and I really, really want to buy it. It looks so good.
I'm a huge point and click fan.
How many games have you seen though that are set in World War One?
I don't know, 2. I just can't remember off the top of my head because I never. They're really, really old, I expect, because there hasn't been one made for a long time.
Well, the whole point is
not like a mainstream one.
Well, they haven't made them because you're in one place for a long, long time, and basically,
I suppose trench warfare doesn't make for good gameplay.
Yeah, well, every time you go over the trench, you get shot to death. But this, it's sort of what's it called? Valiant Men, World War One. That's it. And it sort of follows a single person, well, a single family, and it really looks like they actually tackle the interesting things of World War One. You know, being called up or being sent out of France because you're German, and you know, it just looks like an interesting game to play. A bit like A Stroke of Fate, which I know you've never heard of, but I play, where you actually play as a Gestapo officer, and you're actually one of the main conspirators in Operation Valkyrie, which was the plan to bomb Hitler. And you don't start off in that kind of situation. You start off really early on, and you got to do your duties as a Gestapo officer. You got to root out Jews and stuff like that. And I think for a
I would
video
love to see that as an objective.
game.
The objective to take Jews.
For a video game, that's kind of a sensitive object to tackle, I think, and
It
a
is
lot of
somewhat controversial to actually put you in the position
yeah,
of obviously evil groups.
yeah. I mean,
It's somewhat on history.
I don't know if you ever played Viet Cong, but there was actual a special campaign where you can actually play as a Vietnamese soldier, and you were shooting Americans, and you just played through the entire campaign as an American, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, they're exactly the same as I was. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that video games will press that kind of object. I think that what movies and books and stuff can't do, if you actually experience it, then you'll understand it a lot more.
True, it's a good way to actually put a message forward these days.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
given the amount of crap they got for the whole Russian airport scene in one of the Call of Duties,
yeah,
two or God knows, they're all the same.
that was just put there for shock factor, wasn't it?
But given that got controversy, pretty much anything else will. If you get the player in the position to be a Nazi, it's going to cause a shitstir.
Yeah,
and then Australia will be banned or just ban it outright because it has the word Nazi in it, and they ban everything.
Well, playing that game that I mentioned, that the Stroke of Fate, you kind of interact with books and posters and stuff, and the bloke will say, "This is blah 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 by blah 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 blah, high-ranking Nazi propagandist or blah blah blah," but he'll also intersperse stuff where he'll say stuff like, "I used to be on a German submarine, and the mattresses were very soft, but they weren't padded with feathers. They were padded by human hair from the Dachau death camp." And you just, you just kind of go, Jesus Christ. And then all of a sudden you want to kind of research that, and you want to, understand more about what that kind of stuff did. I don't think you can actually understand it until you've gone over there, maybe, or you've met someone who's survived it. You just can't understand it.
Yeah.
But I commend them for actually trying to do that by making a game of it. That's a really horrible way of putting it, but it's not like it's not like an Auschwitz simulator, but it's
well, it would be bad.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a faux pas.
Just a little, yeah.
But it's like the more you explore, the more you want to research about how horrible all that stuff was.
Which is good in a way, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Which you could say about all war games, really.
Apart from Call of Duty games, which just you being American, kill dirty brown person, victory. Go play Call of Duty 61. I released it yesterday.
I will admit, Call of Duty up until, say, Modern Warfare 2 was pretty good.
I did enjoy World at War, the World War II one.
I did as well, yeah.
That was good. Everything else was shite.
I enjoyed
Call of Duty. Was actually quite fun.
I enjoyed Call of Duty 2 as well because they let you play as the British.
That's the only reason.
Which has never been done before, really.
Because nobody wants to play the British, which is sad.
They wouldn't have said that in LL Mine, would they?
Probably not, still.
Anyway, I've got a really scary picture up there, and We are now 35 minutes into this podcast. So I think,
well.
yeah, I know. So I think we should probably end this. We've answered Heather's question. Hello, Heather.
Is she actually listening?
No, she's not listening, but she'll listen to the recording, you tit.
Oh, should we listen to live or not at all?
Yeah, well, just say hello to Heather.
Hello, Eva.
Hello, Heather. We've answered your
Thank you
question.
for giving us our first question.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully this will be the first thing of a very good thing.
Hopefully,
Right.
it will just be the start of a massive car crash.
Oh dear.
Or can I say I'm a pessimist?
Yeah, well, no change there then. All right. So I shall sign off now. I am Richie Pukinshu. Thank you for listening to this first shitty podcast of us both. And this is my friend Pav,
Also going to be leaving.
also going to be leaving. That's his parting remark. Tit.
I'm straight. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Exactly. You need to subscribe. You need to like, and you need to comment on some more comments for us to make in our things.
Or Rich will watch you while you sleep.
Yes.
It's your choice.
Yes. Anyway, put some questions down below. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. If Pav ever gets around to making a fucking YouTube channel, which he
Have
should,
a YouTube channel, you dick.
well, fucking link it then, tit.
She never asked me for it.
Well, you should fucking just give it to me, shouldn't you? Well,
Fine.
she said. Anyway, I shall link Pav's channel into the description, and we shall see you, hopefully, what, couple of days?
That depends when you get your ass online.
Well, are you free Saturday evening?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I make no guarantees, but
Worse than
depends
a
on
woman.
work.
Worse than a woman.
I'm straight.
Okay, so this is Richie Pukinchu signing off.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.